The bike gets tough, fishing a young tube slow can't be beat.
Look at that tank. This thing is so freaking thick.
This thing is awesome. It's got grooves for your vertebrae to fit in. These knobs are pretty firm. For under 200 bucks, I don't think you can find a better reel than the Tatula SV. So let's talk about recovery tools for a minute. As you can see, I got a pretty good collection of recovery tools going here. All of these I really like. All these have a time and a place. But I got a new recovery tool here. Actually, it's a couple months old, but I'm gonna go over this with you. It's called a SAFR, S-A-F-R Percussion Massager. So if you guys are familiar with like a hyper volt, hyper ice, wait, I said that backwards. Hyper ice, hyper volt. This is like a percussion massager, or like a Theragun or a Tim Tam. These are different types of percussion massagers. So it's basically just a handheld motorized device. Put a implement in here, and it just basically back and forth pounds you, massages you, or whatever. This is what comes with your SAFR kit here. You got the main gun here, charging cord. There is a round, kind of very dense foam. It's a little bit of give to it. It's kind of soft. So that's one head. Comes with 4 heads total. This one is like a forked head, and this one is hard plastic, so there's no give to that one. This is just like a rounded edge, flat head here. And then I think this one is called the thumb head. So this one is about the size of your thumb, maybe slightly bigger. So these heads kind of give you different options here. I've mainly used the fork head and the ball head here. Really like the fork head, but the ball head is awesome too for shoulders or like upper traps or somewhere where you don't want to be super hard. Then it comes with a little instruction booklet here. Now the main gun has your power source here, this is where you plug it in. Lithium ion battery here. This thing has pretty damn good battery life. I've probably gone over an hour on the highest setting, and if you go on lower settings, it's gonna last even longer. So the power button is right here. There's 5 settings from gentle to pretty hard. I mean, this thing isn't gonna totally put tons of pressure on you. I still like to use my lacrosse ball and my softball for things where I really want to dig in, big muscle groups like calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes. But for smaller muscle groups, for lighter applications, or even for quads or hamstrings, if you just kind of want to get a good surface massage going and get some pressure in there without banging up too hard, this thing is awesome. It's 210 bucks, I believe, was the cost of it. And I ended up going with this SAFR one because I wanted to get a Hyper Ice Hyper Volt, but that thing had like 100 and some reviews on it at the time. I think I saw it last, and it had a lot of 1-star reviews saying that the battery died or the motor died or whatever, the first use, or the product came not working or something like that. It had a lot of positive reviews too, but just seeing like one of those negative reviews just kind of puts a thought in your head like I might be getting a defective unit or something like that. This SAFR one had only 22 reviews, but I think it was all but one were 5 stars and the other one was 4 stars. So I ended up going with this one. It's a little bit cheaper than the Hyper Ice, and so far it's served me very well. I think I've cycled through the battery about 5 times, and like I said, I'm mostly using this thing on level 5, the hardest intensity. So I'll show you how it works in action here. You're gonna hold the power button in, and then it's gonna start going. You can see it's coming back and forth. Each setting goes a little bit harder, a little bit faster. So if I'm gonna be working my calf here, let's say, just holding it right here, pressing in. You don't wanna press super hard in. You just kind of want to give like a medium firm pressure there. If you push it in really hard, you can stop the motor. So this thing isn't meant for like getting extreme knots out, but it does work really well. A lot of times you'll find a spot, let's say you get on a knot, and you can definitely feel it, like, oh, that spot's sensitive. Just kind of staying on that one, breathing through it, and just kind of working its way around it a little bit in different directions. I've done this a couple times with spots, and after one session it feels better. After a couple days, the spot is no longer tender at all. So it's not like this is for every single spot in your body. You're just gonna hit it for 10 seconds or 20 seconds and it's gonna be gone. That does happen for some spots, but sometimes it takes multiple days of working on it. A lot of these are caused from your brain. Your brain is putting extra tension in an area for whatever reason, and multiple sessions might be needed to kind of convince your brain to let that go. So this fork one works really well for the bottom of the feet here too. This is kind of a place where you don't really realize you need it until you hit it. You can also do quads. And actually, my sartorius here, if you don't know what a sartorius muscle is, it's like a muscle that comes from the inner knee here up and over to the top of your hip here. That muscle, it does 3 different actions. It does hip flexion, external rotation, and abduction, I believe. So that muscle does 3 different movements, and if it gets tight on you, it can really lock up, and it's painful, and it's really hard to stretch out because it does 3 different movements. So to stretch it out, you need to do like internal rotation, adduction, and hip extension all at the same time. And this thing really works great to get into there. I try to do some manual therapy with my hands on my sartorius, and it's like I'm digging my thumb into it, and the thing's just popping back and forth over my thumb, and I really can't get a good grip on it. So this thing works really awesome for that. And then like upper traps, you can easily do yourself. Probably better off doing the opposite trap of the one that's holding the gun, because then this arm can be relaxed, although I'm holding the GoPro with this one too, so I'm not really relaxed. But this thing works awesome for upper traps and anything shoulder related. It can be light enough that you can even go on your neck. They don't recommend you go on your neck muscles or anywhere above the upper traps. I have done it on the lower settings and that feels great too, but they don't recommend that, just so you know. So quit massaging myself here. So if you're looking for a really great tool to add to your percussion, if you're looking for a really great tool to add to your arsenal of recovery, if you're working out often enough that you kind of have soreness here and there, or you have like repetitive work environment. I'm a bartender, so I'm doing a lot of like this kind of stuff all the time, or hands up mixing drinks, and then you can see like my traps are kind of shrugged as I have my arms up doing all this mixing of drinks and whatever. And I'm also on my feet all the time, so if you have maybe like a hair cutting job or whatever, or you're just doing your workouts, or if you have both, you have kind of a repetitive job and you're doing workouts, it's kind of easy for your body to just have these little tight spots here and there, and this thing's a really great way to take care of that. It is a little more expensive, but it's just so much more versatile than all of these tools here. Like I said, I still love these, I still use these, all of them have a place. But if you're looking for like something to take it to the next level and release some of that tension, this is definitely what I would recommend right here. Again, it's like a little over 200 bucks, I think 210 bucks. Absolutely held up great so far, great battery life. I really love this thing. If you're interested, check them out, SAFR on Amazon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.